Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie. Happy Friday. So first of all, as always, I want to say what the banner says down there. Thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing, being members. For those of you who've bought me a Ko-fi, for those of you who've sent me a PayPal or Super Chat, etc. Thank you so much. It really helps to support my channel. And okay. So let's get rid of the banner then. So here we are. It's, well, good morning, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are. Here in Spain, it's 12:20, just past midday. It's a beautiful day. It's stopped raining. The air's clearer now. So really is, you know, lovely weather here at the moment. Unlike, it seems like it's Greece where it seems to be having the complete heat wave. So this is one of the things we're going to be talking about today after the death, the very sad death, wasn't it, of Michael Mosley, the famous TV doctor, walking on a Greek island. There are actually 2 other tourists missing on Greek islands. A Dutch tourist and an American tourist in very similar circumstances to Dr. Michael. So, you know, I want to talk about that because I know we raised awareness when we've been talking about Dr. Mosley, about the absolute danger, you know, to be avoided, walking in the heat in the summer. On in these tourist spots, you know, the natives wouldn't do it. Take notice of what the natives do. But anyway, we're going to look at those cases in a moment. We're also going to look at this phenomenon of furries. So last night, if any of you watched the live that I did last night, you know, this discovery of the Gilgo Beach killer's daughter, Victoria, is a furry or into this furry, very odd sort of, you know, I'm laughing about it because it's not really, it's not funny. The thing is, there's a more innocent side to it. The press conference that we watched last night brought out a more sinister side to this furry sort of trend, if you like, or this furry phenomenon, people identifying with animals, furry animals. But so we're going to look a bit at the whole thing, a bit more at the more innocent side of it. It's not all dark, and we're going to perhaps look at a bit more reasonably in the sense of the context, as it doesn't necessarily mean she knew anything about Rex, her father, and what he was up to, or that she's got anything darker than that. But we're going to look at that. So I'm going to start off by just lighting the candle. Now I'm lighting this candle for these two tourists that are, I mean, as you know, I light the candle for everyone who needs it, but specifically today, because this is what we're going to be talking about, I'm lighting the candle for these two tourists that have gone missing on Greek islands, in a very similar circumstances to Dr. Mosley, and also to their family and friends who must be worried sick about them, because the heat is 100 degrees Fahrenheit on these islands, in the heat of the day. So the longer, the more days go by, the less positive it looks, isn't it? And you cannot believe that they cannot find them on these barren islands. I mean, there's no, we'll have a look. These other islands that we're talking about, they're very similar to the island of Simi, where Michael went missing. There's nothing on them. There's no trees. There's no cover. Why is it so difficult to find people on them? Anyway, I hope if they've got the dogs out again, they've got their little boots on as well, if they've got the dogs out searching for them. But anyway, we're going to look at that next. First of all, I'm going to say hello to everybody. And also, I just want to tell you, very first of all, I had a really strange dream last night. I dreamt I was on a beach. It's funny, really, because then I've woken up to these stories about these tourists. I've woken up to, all these scenes of beaches, Greek beaches, etc. And last night I dreamt that I was on a beach, and there was only me on this beach and a man, but I don't know who the man was. I can't remember who it was. It was someone I knew in the dream, but I don't know now who it was. And we were talking, and I said to him, I don't really like swimming in the sea, which I don't. But I like it when it's very clear, like it is now. And this sea was perfectly blue. You could see to the bottom, and I don't mind swimming in the sea so much. Then I don't like it when there's any seaweed or it's murky and I can't see what's in it. But sometimes here in the Mediterranean, it's so clear, you can see everything. You can see the fish swimming, you can see everything. I don't mind swimming in it then, as long as I can see what's actually, what I'm swimming in. I don't like it when I'm not sure what's in there. And so I said to this man, whoever he was, I think I'm going to have a swim because the sea's really clear. And I sort of jumped into the sea because it seemed to be a dip into the sea in this beautiful blue, crystal clear sea. And I thought when I jumped in, I thought it was going to be quite shallow. But it wasn't. I went right down. And I couldn't get back up. And it was really quite scary because I was just thinking, oh, well, if I just sort of float up, and go like this, I'm bound to come to the top. I never realised it was this deep. This was the thoughts that was in my head. And but I couldn't get up to the top. I mean, it seemed to last for ages in the dream, but it was probably, a few seconds. And every time I thought, oh, it must, the top of the water must be there in a minute, It still was ages, I could see the sky, but I couldn't get up there. And then I woke up, and then just suddenly I woke up. So I don't know what that dream meant. I mean, it might just meant that I wanted to go to the toilet. I don't know. Maybe I just needed to go to the loo. But it was very vivid, I don't always have vivid dreams, but occasionally I have very, very vivid dreams. And this was so vivid. I can imagine it happening now. It was so vivid. And then, of course, I did in the dream. I didn't actually get to the top. Sorry, I know I'm waffling on, but I thought it was interesting. So I looked up what do dreams about drowning mean, and it says some drowning dreams. Dreaming about a drowning is mainly associated with the danger of being overwhelmed by emotions and responsibilities. It is therefore essential to allow emotions freedom of expression and not bottle them up, as they will still find a way out. So the next time you have a drowning dream, it's time to self-evaluate. So there you go. I need to self-evaluate apparently. And it says they're triggered by events that produce emotions that sometimes make you feel powerless. Suppressed emotions may take the form of things we fear, such as dreams about drowning. Therefore, communication, managing daily stresses, and discussing feelings help manage these dreams. Now, I've got to say, I was quite last night after doing the live about Madeline Soto, I was quite emotional, and anybody would be, wouldn't they? And as I said on a community post, I have got the documents now about Madeline and the latest documents, from the investigation, and they are hard reading as well. So it could have been because of that. And I will be reading those documents out bit by bit, as I said, not today, and not tonight because we're doing the quiz tonight, but sometime over the weekend I'll probably start making the videos and just do, I think an hour is the maximum that you could cope with some of these revelations at a time, because at the end of the day we've got to think about our mental health, haven't we? But it's important that we understand exactly what this man has done and how, we know he's a monster, but it just gets worse, doesn't it? I don't know what's going to happen to Stefan Stearns. I mean, I honestly don't. But anyway, that's for another video. So it could have been because of that. It says, remember the dream's context and what you are currently going through impacts your dream. So evaluate your situation to understand the dream's true meaning. So it could be just that I was thinking about tourists going missing on beaches, or I could have been worrying about Madeline, or there's all the normal life problems that you have, like paying your bills and worrying about your family and just your normal sort of things that everybody has, except for Rishi Sunak, of course, because he never had Sky TV. I bet he's got Sky TV now. I don't think I've ever had Sky TV. God, I've been so I've just been so neglected when I was a child. Anyway, so so I'm waffling on. So I just wanted to tell you about that dream. Do you believe in dreams? I think maybe one night we should do it on one of the members' lives or whatever. We should do a dream. What dreams have you had that have come true? I have had dreams that have come true. I've had recurring dreams. Is there any significance in dreams? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it, for a video one day? Be interesting for a live chat. Okay, so now I've bored you with my dream, I'm going to say hello to everybody. So, hi David, hi Julie, hi Maria, hi Heather. Good evening, Maria, of course. Yeah, evening in Melbourne. Miserable weather in Cambridge. Yeah, maybe you should get a little weekend away, Heather, to Spain. But not Palma, Mallorca, because they had problems at the airport there, didn't they, with the rain. Don't go to Greece. Maybe you should just have a little quick getaway in Spain somewhere. Rained all day in South Wales yesterday, according to Julie. Raining in the Glasgow area. Oh, dear. Well, it's funny because I was going to go to the beach today. My plans this morning were to get up early, go to the beach, just get a couple of hours before it got too hot. Of course, didn't do any of that. One, I didn't get up early. I actually didn't get up till 9 o'clock, which is really late for me. And that, because I was up late last night preparing the quiz. And I was up till about 2 in the morning getting the quiz ready for tonight. And, I was okay. I wasn't tired last night because I'd had a nap in the afternoon. And so, of course, I got up late. Then I've been sorting out the Madeline Soto document. So time just went away, and before I knew it, it was this time, and so I've not been to the beach. So but that may have been why I dreamt about the beach last night, because I was thinking of going to the beach this morning. Hi, Joanne. David, you're wicked. You're wicked. Oh dear. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Katrine. I did. I went for a swim the other day at my friend's. Yeah, but this dream was really strange, because it was like I went into the water expecting it to be just walking to it, and it didn't. It went down, but it was very blue and clear. I mean, it was beautiful, but I just couldn't get up to the top again. Yeah, we're having a quiz tonight. We're having a crime music quiz. So what I've prepared are 30, I've got 30 songs that are all about either murder, crime, some criminal connection. And I'm going to read you out lyrics from those songs. Unfortunately, I can't play the songs, which is a shame, because of copyright. But I'm going to read, we will look at the videos of the songs with the sound on. And you've got to try from the lyrics to guess what the name of the song is and who sings it. And I enjoyed it so much preparing for it, because that's why I was up so late, because I started listening to these songs. There were songs that came up that I've not heard for years. And there is a real, there's not only old songs on there, there's old songs right up to present day songs. But some of the older ones that I've not heard for a long, long time, I was listening to them, watching the videos. I really enjoyed it. So Joanne's saying that Clark Gable and Rock Hudson passed away at 59 years old. Yeah, I didn't know about Clark Gable, but Rock Hudson, he had AIDS, didn't he? So that's why he died. I don't know why Clark Gable died, but he was a big smoker. That's all I know. Thank you, Kelly. I love, as you probably know, I wear this dress quite often in the summer, because it's just easy to wear. It's so comfy and cool, etc. Yeah. I don't understand, Heather, surrender. Yeah, I've never understood the attraction of Italy. I know it's beautiful. Some parts of it are beautiful, but I think it's because I live in Spain. Because to me, when you live in a country like Spain, you don't. The thought of going to Italy, it doesn't really appeal to me, because it's just like here, but a lot more expensive. But yeah, I don't know. Italy's not some. I'd like to go just to see it, but I'm not really that bothered. Oh yeah, water connected to emotions. Hi, blank faces. Now, Joanne's saying, stay safe when you go out swimming. I don't go out past my knees, especially after watching Jaws. Joanne, are you in Australia? Because it's in Australia, of course, you've got the sharks. But we do occasionally get sharks, but they're only little ones. We don't get like the great white or anything like that. But there was one night that I was swimming. I used to always go every summer, go for at least one midnight swim. I haven't done that actually. Everything stopped with COVID, and I've not gone back to all these sort of routines that I used to do. Like traditions. It was like a tradition. At least once a year in August, I would go for a midnight swim. Hi, Julie. And I went for a swim one night with my son, when I can't remember how old he was, and a friend. And oh God, it seemed like everyone was in the water pointing at something. I was convinced it was a shark. Oh my God, I could not get out of that water quick enough. because it was nighttime, so you couldn't see anything. But it seemed like everyone was making a big fuss about something. People were in the water, so a lot of people go swimming at midnight in the summer, and I just like clambering out, getting my son and trying to get him out. I was terrified. So yeah, maybe that's why I've stopped going midnight swimming. I never used to really worry about what was in the water, but I do now. Anyway, strange. And jellyfish, yeah. Now we do get jellyfish sometimes, medusas. You seem to get like an invasion of them at times, but I haven't seen any for a while. So yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at these poor guys. There's two men missing in Greece, two tourists. One is American and one is Dutch. Now, I don't know an awful lot about the Dutch guy because when when I was looking, it's mainly the news is mainly about the American guy that that comes up on my Google, etc. But let's have a look at the CNN news. It talks about two tourists that are missing. Two more tourists missing on the Greek islands as a heat wave grips the country. Now, when I look, this is what these Greek islands are like. What's pretty about them? I know the sea looks lovely. This must be why I had this dream, because of course you're always looking at the sea is beautiful. I don't know, but apparently they've even shut the Acropolis in Greece to protect tourists from the blistering heat. So it's that hot at the moment in Greece that they've even closed down the Acropolis to tourists. So, that tells you something, doesn't it? And of course, you look at these scenes and the sea looks beautiful. But to me, I just look at the vegetation. That tells you everything you need to know. These are desert islands, practically. There's nothing there. They're so sort of harsh. And I think when tourists go there, they don't understand, they don't appreciate what danger they are in. You have to take a leaf out of the natives, but if you're going to go out for a walk or a run or whatever, if you must, I don't think, to be honest, I don't think in the summer I would do it even in the morning, or not only the very, very early morning. Certainly not. But maybe these guys set off and were only intending to do the morning. Maybe something happened, and that's why, before the afternoon, we don't know, obviously. Until they're found, we don't know what's happened to them. But anyway, so CNN says that two tourists, one from the United States and one from the Netherlands, have disappeared while hiking separately in Greece. The news of the disappearances comes just days after the body of British TV personality Michael Mosley was discovered after he vanished while walking in sizzling temperatures on the Greek island of Simi. Now, one thing I want to say is it makes you wonder if it hadn't have been that for Michael, what happened to Michael, and of course it was all over the news, would we have heard about these other men? Because I do think that when a news story gains traction, like obviously it did with Michael because of him being well known across the world, then suddenly things start being reported on. It was like with Nicola Bulley, when Nicola Bulley went missing and then was found in the river, and suddenly you see all these things about other river, and people saying, oh, is there a serial killer because all these women found in rivers. But I think women have always been found in rivers. Just the difference now is the news are picking up on them because they know that people are interested in these cases because of Nicola Bulley. So I do think there's a bit of that. Would we have even got to know about Albert or the Dutch person, I don't think we even know the name of the Dutch guy, because, you know, although of course it's big news as far as their friends and family concerned, people go missing every day, don't they? So these stories are probably being reported as much because of Michael's recent case as anything. You know, it doesn't mean to say that when we don't hear anything about people going missing on Greek islands or any island, doesn't mean to say nobody's going missing, just means it's not being reported on. Just for a good on, this looks interesting. This advert, normally I try and ignore the adverts, but look, Japanese whiskey. Discover the harmony of Japanese whiskey. You wouldn't, so that's two things you won't put together, isn't it? Japan and whiskey. Sorry, that's just the advert on the side. So a 59-year-old American man who has been named as Albert Calibert disappeared on the island of Amorgos on Tuesday. Now, I wonder if that means, because in Spanish, amarga means bitter. Sometimes I've noticed the Greek words are a little bit similar to the Spanish words. I wonder if that means anything, Amorgos in Greek. While following a route towards the village of Catapola, the Amargos municipality said on its official social media. And this is the poor guy. No, this guy, he's an ex-police officer from Los Angeles Police Department. He's only recently retired, which is a terrible shame, isn't it? If anything untoward has happened to him, it's a shame. He's probably trying to enjoy his retirement, gone off, you know, to this island, and well, we've got to hold out hope that he might be found, but, you know, once a few days have gone past, it's not very promising. Poppy Despotiti, Amorgos deputy mayor of tourism, told CNN on Thursday that Calibert has been coming to Amorgos almost every year for about a decade. Now, this guy has got a holiday home there, so he obviously likes it. He bought a house there, and he's been going there every year for about 10 years. And he's been missing since Tuesday. So that's quite a few days, isn't it? And then on another island, the island of Samos, a 74-year-old Dutch tourist has been missing since Sunday. Again, so he's 74. Especially if you're 74, you shouldn't be out walking in the Greek mountains. How old is this guy? 59. No, there's not a spring chicken, is it? I think people forget. You know, even young people can get caught out in these conditions, etc. But of course, the older you get, the more you cannot take. You might think you're fit and you might think that you can deal with these conditions, but you can't. Hi, Misty. I'm just come back to the chat a minute, just see if I've missed anybody. So I thought I saw somebody else there. Hi, Julie. Said hello to. Hi, Pamela. Think I've covered everything. If I've missed anyone coming in, as always, I'm sorry, but I'm going back to the article now. So yeah, you know, 74, 59. Just shouldn't, anyway, you know, I'm not trying to sort of victim blame, if you like, but what I think I'm trying to do is warn everybody out there, you know, just this is how it is. You've got to be so careful. These are warning signs. If the death of Michael Mosley saves one life maybe this year, there's lots of things you've got to be careful of when you go abroad. You know, make sure you put sun cream on. Don't spend too many hours out in the sun. Even young people do that. I've seen many a lobster on the beach. You can spot a tourist a mile off. because they're bright red normally. You know, it looks really painful. And, you know, I've done it. I did it years ago. I've done it many, many times. It's just something you learn over the years. You know, not to be expose yourself to the sun. Make sure you've got an umbrella so you can get in the shade when you need to. Don't stay exposed all the time. So this Dutchman had gone hiking in the Marathokamapu area of the island. The Hellenic Rescue Team of Samos said in a post on Facebook on Wednesday. Local residents are helping with the search. Constantia Dimoglidou, I'm probably butchering these Greek names, I'm so sorry, a spokesperson for the Greek police, told CNN on Thursday that police, fire brigade and volunteers are involved in the search, including by air, for both men. Unfortunately, so far we have no news about either of them, she added. Hi, Maltese. I just think, look, see this island? So this is the Amorgos Island in Greece, where Mr. Calibat disappeared on Tuesday, the American guy. He looks just like where Michael went missing from. You know, you could look at that. I think there's a few more houses on this island, but you could look at that. To me, it just looks the same. You can see how beautiful the sea is. It looks like the sea in my dream last night. Just so makes you wonder, did he fall in the sea? Because I'm just thinking about that dream, and there was a man in my dream talking to me, but I didn't know him. I can't remember his face, so you know, I've seen this guy's face now, so you know, I can't remember what the guy's face was that I was talking to on the beach. But it's possible, I suppose, that he went for a swim to cool down and he drowned. You know, that's another possibility. But it just looks so barren, doesn't it? I mean, really, here there's a few houses, but I wonder if this is like a complex here or something. Sorry, here there's a few trees, but you can see the rest of the island. There's no trees, no shade. See, this is the problem. When there's no, if you were walking along, even in the UK, even if it was hot, and you got a bit overcome, you could probably quite easily find a tree to sit underneath, you know, for a bit out of the sun. But of course here, no, there's no shade. There's no shade. So if you started to feel a bit unwell, where are you going to take cover? So then it goes on to talk about Michael, a television doctor who popularized the type of intermittent fasting known as the 5-2 diet. And you know, I was thinking about that because he was a diabetic, wasn't he? Michael Mosley, he was a type 2 diabetic, but he developed this diet, 5 days eating, 2 days fasting, 5-2 diet. But I thought if you're a diabetic, you weren't supposed to go without food for any length of time. I thought you were supposed to eat little and often. You know, 5 times a day. Someone I know who's got diabetes, they have to eat 5 times a day, but just small meals, you know, no big meals. You know, which I like to have a big meal, only one a day, but you know, so I'd find that quite difficult, and I think I'd find fasting for 2 days difficult. But anyway, I just remembered that, and I thought, oh, that's interesting, because I thought diabetics weren't supposed to fast. You know, people I know that are diabetic, they're like, get really quite ill if they don't eat. So anyway. So yeah, so Greece is currently enduring a blistering heat wave that looks set to peak on Thursday. So that was yesterday. And they've released an orange warning for heat, the second most serious designation. And we get those warnings here. You get the red aviso urgente, like the urgent warning, the red warning. And then the second most serious warning is the orange. So let's just have a look at this, where it says about Michael. Michael Mosley likely died soon after becoming unwell. I hope he did. I hope it was, you know, I hope he wasn't sitting there suffering for ages. Hasn't got any more proof, because they believe he died around 4 p.m. on the same day he went missing. Oh, look, the person, this is the same person, Constantia Dimoglidou. She's the one that was talking about the American guy as well, the police spokeswoman. Gosh, she's going to, I bet she thinks, bloody hell, nobody knew who she was. Now suddenly she's all over the news. So Dimoglidou told CNN that police do not believe Mosley had been sitting down for long before dying, as his time of death was similar to the time it would have taken him to reach the spot. Well, let's hope so. I hope, and the position in which his body was found suggests he was sitting at the time of his death. So yeah, I wonder if he just sat down because he was just feeling terrible and just died. I hope he wasn't suffering. I hope he wasn't suffering. Okay, so the people that, you know, unfortunately, Michael is beyond help now. But the people they're hoping to help, we haven't got a photograph of the Dutch tourist, or I haven't got one at the moment. But this is the American tourist, the ex-policeman. And we're going to read a little bit more about him. Now, straight away, I like this guy because he obviously likes cats. We've got nice pictures. Oh, do you frighten me to death? Stop, stop, stop it. Frighten me to death then. Stop. So this article, Easy Reader. I don't know what this thing is, but it's got quite an in-depth article about him. He's from Hermosa Beach. Yeah. Hermosa means pretty, or you know, beautiful. So beautiful beach he's from. Albert Calibet, missing in Greece. So you can look, he's got his t-shirt on there, Sea, Sex and Saganaki. I'm not sure what Saganaki is, but you know, he looks like an interesting character, doesn't he? A likable guy. So he was a Los Angeles County Deputy Sheriff for 20 years until his retirement in 2018. I'll just say, let's see, I think I might have missed Jackie there coming in. Hi, Jackie. He said, I don't want a desk job. I want to be in the field. I like the excitement. So he never moved up in rank. And he was from Spain. He's Spanish. Well, he's a Basque immigrant. So he will have got, now for anyone who doesn't know, the Basque country is up in the north of Spain. It's very different from the rest of Spain, and they've been trying to get independence forever. Their language is completely different. Their traditions are very different. So they are, you know, they have always sought independence from Spain. And they were terrorists. I mean, there's some terrible things. Some terrible things happen there. But there seems to be a ceasefire now. So there's no terrorism at the moment, as far as I know, in Spain, not from the Basques. And that's where he's from originally. So he would speak Spanish, but he would also speak Basque. Basque is a language of its own. It's more like Russian than Spanish. Also, another thing they do in the Basque country is they play the bagpipes. So it's not clear how they got the bagpipes there as well. So they've got influences from all sorts of different places, and they do not think that they do not count themselves as Spanish. Anyway, he emigrated to America. Says he was a tough deputy. God, you'd have to be tough in Los Angeles, wouldn't you? You know, the more I read about Los Angeles, it's not a very nice place to live, is it? So much of his patrol time was in South Central Los Angeles. chasing people, jumping over fences, he said. He was also smart. Some of his time was in West Hollywood in a one-man patrol car. Every night there were fights outside the bars. One officer couldn't stop them, so I let them wear themselves out and then arrest them, he said. His nose and his mouth are shifted to the right. He takes undisguised pride in that disfigurement. Wonder what happened. Is it going to tell us what happened? He cared for stray. Well, they're putting him in the past tense here. Friends say that he cared for stray cats. We don't know yet that he is in the past tense. So they keep calling him by his surname again, don't they? Why do these mainstream media do this? Anyway, is it too much trouble to say Albert? Albert lives 2 blocks up from the beach in Hermosa Beach. He stays in shape, running in the soft sand and swimming year-round in the ocean, never with a wetsuit. Now, I would imagine he's quite used to the heat then. I would imagine it's quite hot in Los Angeles in the summer. I don't really know much about the climate of Los Angeles, but if there's a beach there, I expect there is. He's single and he loves women and wine. He is magnetic, said his longtime friend and neighbour, Robin Leon. He feeds stray cats and keeps a water bowl and treats in his front yard for passing dogs. So we already love this guy, don't we? He invites neighbours in for wine and to join him at Barnacles and La Palmilla. He fought the city when it took away the sidewalk in front of our homes, but he loves Hermosa. Now, the thing is, of course, he will have already spoke Spanish. In Los Angeles, Spanish is a big language, you know, and that is, of course, part of the connections with the Rachel Marines killer, isn't it? That he's got a connection to Los Angeles. There's a big Hispanic connection in Los Angeles, and Spanish is, you know, maybe not the first language, but it's the fastest growing language in America in general, and places like Los Angeles, Florida, etc. Spanish is really prolific. So we've got another view of the island coastline, and you know, I can see that it's beautiful. The sea's beautiful, but to me, I don't think it's anything special. But I know that's probably because I live in Spain and we have beautiful views like that anyway. But you know, all countries have got beautiful views. I don't think it's, anyway, it's not a country that's ever really interested me to go to, but he loved it. So Albert used his modest deputy sheriff's salary to invest in real estate. He owns his Hermosa home, and in partnership with his younger brother, Oliver, he has acquired Hermosa rental properties, a ski chalet in Courchevel in the French Alps, an apartment in Paris, where he was baptized at Notre Dame, and an apartment on the Pamplona Plaza de Torres. Right, I've just gone off him. Which he rents to CNN while he runs with the bulls. Runs with the bulls, you know, because in Pamplona, that's where they do the bull run. It's so cruel. So all this about him loving dogs and cats, now I'm sort of going off him. But anyway, I've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. But what they do to the bulls there in Pamplona, it's just ridiculous. You know, well, they don't fight them. It's not like bullfighting, but they run them through the streets. You know, the bulls are terrified, and all the idiots run behind them, and you know, it's like a tradition. It's like a mark of manhood or something. It's, you know, just one of those. To me, it's like fox hunting. It's a tradition. You know, you could call something a tradition, but just because something is a tradition doesn't mean to say you have to keep doing it. You know, it used to be tradition to chop people's head off in the main square, but we don't do it anymore. You know, some traditions can be stopped. Now, in some places in Spain, in my village, for example, they do like a a mock-up bull run. So they use like inflatable bulls, like so the kids can do, so that's fine. Why can't you keep a tradition going that way? You don't have to be cruel to animals, do you? There's a time when you have to stop doing things that were traditions, or do them in a different way, and that's what they do in a lot of pueblos, towns, is they do mock-up bull runs with inflatable bulls. Which to me seems sensible. You want to keep the tradition alive, the memory of the tradition, but not be cruel to animals. And not only that it's cruel to animals, but nearly every year someone dies or is seriously injured. It's very dangerous. There's no health and safety in Spain. If you go to a fiesta in Spain, I'll tell you, you will see. Britain might have gone crazy with health and safety restrictions. There's almost, almost can't bloody step out your front door without there being some limit on what you do. In Spain, it's complete opposite. No, health and safety. What's health and safety? It's like just doesn't exist. Anyway, doesn't flash his wealth. He travels to Europe every summer with a backpack and 2 pairs of shorts. This week, Leon's home was turned into a command search centre, and as of Thursday night, Arthur. Why is he saying Leon? I thought his name was Arthur. Oh, his neighbour's called Leon, called Robin Leon. Oh, God. Just use people's names, for goodness sake. Proper names. Anyway, so Robin Leon, his neighbour, his home was turned into a command search centre. And as of Thursday night, Albert has been missing for 72 hours. So he left for Mykonos last week, in the Aegean Sea, where he started his summer vacation, where he has started his summer vacations for decades. And from there, he planned to go to his mother's home in the Basque Country near Saint-Jean-de-Luz. He planned to buy a farm there with thoughts of opening a restaurant on his property. Gosh, I mean, that's at 59. You'd think he'd be thinking of slowing down a little bit, really. But there you go. So, yeah. So the trail from this map is showing the trail from Agiali Bay to Catapola Amorgos that Hermosa Beach resident Albert Calapet went missing on, and the map is courtesy of Amargus Tourism. But before leaving for the Basque Country, went to see friends on the Greek island of Amorgos, which is similar in length, width and elevation to Catalina Island. On Monday morning, he set out on a hike on Amargos from the Bay of Aegiali in the east end of the island to the town of Catapola Amorgos in the middle of the island. He sent his sister a cell phone photo of the sign at the red trailhead, and that was the last he has been heard from. He planned to meet a friend at the end of the hike for lunch. He had made the 4-hour hike many times, and the friend reported Calibert missing. Sorry, my back's itching. That afternoon to the local police. It's strange because he's not a person who walked the route for the first time. He knows Amorgos better than me, said the deputy mayor, Calliope Despotide. He said that he was well known among the islanders from his many visits. Much of Greece is on a heat alert this week because of temperatures reaching 107 degrees. There are 3 tourists hiking on the Cyclades Islands, which include Mykonos and Amorgos, have reportedly died while hiking in recent days. So there's already 3 have died. Oh my God. Schools in Athens and the Acropolis are closed because of the heat. So Arthur's girlfriend, Debbie Lashane, his brother Oliver, and 2 Los Angeles search and rescue experts flew to Athens Thursday morning. They arrived in Athens at 9 a.m. Athens time, and they hope to reach Amorgos by early afternoon after another flight and a boat trip. So it's not an easy place to get to by the sound of it. Oliver Calibet said he's been frustrated by both the Greek authorities and the US embassy responses. The Greeks don't search at night. That's interesting. But now the international press has jumped on the story. They are stepping up their efforts. You think it'd be better to search at night, really, when it wasn't so hot. Obviously you've got to take lights with you and things. But you'd think it would almost think it would make sense to search at night, wouldn't you, really? Certainly better for the dogs. Okay, so that's some information about Albert. As I said, I don't know much about the Dutch guy who's also missing, and I don't know anything about the other 3 tourists that have died. Just never ending, is it? This is very important. The other thing I want to say about that's important when you go abroad is find out about the currents on the beaches near you, because for example, where I am, there are certain beaches that you just don't go on, certainly not with children, because they look all innocent and everything. The trouble with the Mediterranean Sea is it's not like the Atlantic that's really choppy, and you be careful anyway, because you can see when it's windy and wavy, etc. Sometimes the Mediterranean looks so calm on the surface, but all the currents are underneath. And there are certain beaches near where I am that every year, on one of them, at least 3 people have died already. It's not even summer properly yet. There are a few that are notorious. And when my son was young, see, again, you don't get to know about these when you're a tourist, do you? They don't tell you that in the holiday brochures. They should, though. It'd be good if on these holiday, advertisements, they said to avoid certain beaches if you've got children, especially, or elderly people. But even young people, because young people sometimes are the worst, because they think they're invincible, don't they? So they go out further. The trouble is you go out further and then you can't get back into shore. And then, if the lifeguards are on, hopefully you'll get rescued by the lifeguards. But, they're not on yet, I don't think. I think the lifeguards are only really there in July and August. So just be sensible, just don't go too far out. Avoid the beaches that, try and find out. The thing is, you have to do your own research, really, because no holiday place is going to say, oh, this beach is dangerous or whatever. They don't like saying things like that. It's like the Jaws movie, isn't it, when the mayor got them all back in the water because of the tourist season. They want the tourists to come. They don't want to put the tourists off. So it's, in a way, it's up to you to do your own research. Find out, ask the locals. Anything you want to know is by asking the locals. That's where you'll find it out, isn't it? Okay, just want to show you this one more article because it just shows the actual place itself. I'm just going to come back to the chat a minute. See if hi, Jackie. Yeah, you fainted for dehydration. Yeah, it's easy to get, very easy to get dehydration. Much easier than you think. And fainting, I've seen loads of people faint while I've been in Spain. Yeah. Hi, Chumba. Yeah. Yeah, the bull running's terrible. Hi, Matthew. They should do it just symbolically like they do in my town. Well, that'll be interesting. Blank faces. If Nicola's family take part in the BBC documentary. Well, do you know what? I won't hold my breath for it because remember the last documentary was crapo. I can't see that this documentary is going to be any better. Really, it'll just be a rehash probably of everything we know already. Anyway, hi Michelle. Okay, so we're going to look at one more article about this Albert who's gone missing, and then we're going to talk about furries. I know you're all not furries, not two furries, just furries, this phenomenon of people who like to dress up as animals that I've never knew about before, and sort of wish really that I still didn't know about. But we're going to talk about that. But let's just have a look at this. So it's basically, the story is the same. Obviously, we've read the story. The only reason I'm really showing this because I wanted you to see another view of the island. It just looks like the island that Michael Mosley went missing on. You know, there's a few sort of houses dotted around, really brutal scrubland, ugly. I know, I just doesn't, I honestly do not understand what people see in places like that, but anyway. So yeah, due to meet up with a friend between noon and 1 p.m, but he never made it to the meetup point. We've tried calling him on his phone, no answer, so his friend reported him to the local authorities. So he's visited the island many times, he knows the trail in the area very well. So he's, you know, has he had some sort of medical episode? So a helicopter and a drone are aiding in an aerial search for Arthur in ravines and areas that are not walkable, while rescue teams have already walked the trail twice. So as we were saying earlier, he's been a member of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department since 1998 and has continued to be a part-time employee since he retired in 2018, according to the department. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family. Of course they are, yeah. Okay, so that's all I've really got to tell you about that. We'll keep an eye on that, of course. You know, just pray that he is found safe. There's always an outside chance, especially if he's got, you know, got family with him, etc. So, yeah. So all those tourists that have died so far in Greece, I mean, you know, it's only June. We've got the summer to get through yet. Anyway, so we're going to look at these furries now. Sorry, I'm just looking at something. Okay, let's see about the furries. So last night we watched the press conference from some attorney that was, you know, casting a lot of aspersions on Rex Heuermann's daughter, Victoria. So Rex Heuermann is the suspected Gilgo Beach killer. His trial will be coming up sometime this year, I think. The police are still assimilating evidence. He is the, hi Chris, he is the suspected Gilgo Beach killer or Long Island serial killer. You know, there's, you know, various women he's already been charged with their murder, and it's thought that there's going to be more things coming out. And then the police went to his home again and raided his home. And then this attorney, let's have a look. There's an absolute outcry about this on the true crime community because a lot of people, you know, are saying, a lot of people are saying that there's teeth to this, if you like, that the fact that Victoria, Rex's daughter, she's only in her late 20s, so she wasn't even really old enough to, you know, because some people are saying that this, her sort of weird art that she does is, and this furry, this furry obsession that she apparently has, allegedly. Some people are saying that this means she had something to do, knew about him, you know, what sort of person he was, etc. But other people are saying no, because you know, she was found, she was, you know, too young at the time, so she may have these sort of predilections now, but maybe there's too much being looked into it, you know, that shouldn't connect her with anything nefarious, etc. But she has done some very strange art. I'm going to show you some of it. So on Twitter, it's been all over Twitter. All the true crimers on Twitter are talking about it. Some people poo-pooing it, you know, and saying no. But look, this was one of her pictures that she's made. You know, and I personally don't think she had anything to do with, she couldn't have had anything to do with the murders, because they were so long ago. But, you know, she's definitely got a bit of a, this is a painting she did, I think. And this, of course, is from, I don't know if any of you watched the Hannibal series. This was Hannibal, the serial killer. And that was a real, well, I say real, it was a film, it was a series. But this was a real murder that he did. And she's sort of painted a very similar picture. Now, so then it turned out, let's stop sharing that. So it turns out that a furry, Furry, is somebody who likes dressing up as an animal. Now, there's an innocent version of this as well. It's a bit like people who like giant prick pasta, who likes dressing up as superheroes and comic. You know, we have Comic Con, you know, these conventions every year. People go along, they dress up as superheroes or characters from comics. And then you have Crime Con, you know, where every year people who are into true crime go along to the Crime Con convention. And it's quite strange, because even victims or families of victims go along to it as well. You know, it's very strange with crime, isn't it? You know, we're all interested in true crime, otherwise we won't be here. But where do you draw the line between, you know, I find it like quite a thin line that you walk along sometimes. As far as I mean, to me, I'm always respectful towards the victims, but I'm not always respectful towards the perpetrators. But of course, the perpetrators even have got family, you know, and you've got to sort of think about them. Are they, you know, they get sort of hauled over the coals, and all their private life becomes public, and that's not really fair, is it, if they haven't actually done anything wrong? So it's a very sort of sensitive subject, and I've noticed on Twitter people seem to be divided about it. You know, you've got people who are saying, "Oh, this is ridiculous to bring Victoria into this," and then other people saying, "Oh no, it is quite odd, you know, that she likes all these weird things, etc." I mean, the thing is, I don't know Victoria, of course, I don't know her. But it did seem quite odd, so, like her search history. So they've gone into her social media, and she's been following these weird, you know, bestiality websites, etc. You know, so it's not necessarily meaning that she was involved in these murders in any way. But, you know, I'm sorry, it is strange, I think, to, you know, I know a lot of people have got fetishes. And even if you have a fetish, doesn't mean say you actually do that. But come on, I mean, anyway. So I'm going to read out to you the polite version of being a furry, what a furry is, on Wikipedia. And but then it does go into, this is like the veneer of being a furry. So, you know, I can get with this, you know, people dressing up as a dog to go to a convention or whatever, or a cat. You know, it's just like fancy dress, really, isn't it? And but it's when it goes on to the sort of sexual element, there's apparently then these you know, a lot of these furries take part in cartoon abuse of children, or RAPE and all sorts, dressed up, and they're cartoons, like anime type thing. Anime is another horrible thing. I think I hate all those things. It just turn the sort of unacceptable into acceptable. Just because it's a cartoon doesn't make it acceptable. It's horrible, I think. Anyway, that's my opinion, but let me read to you what it says on Wikipedia about what a furry is. Oh yeah, Michelle, you best cover your ears. I don't know if it was in the movie The Shining. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, I'm laughing, and I'm not laughing because it's not serious. It is serious, but I'm laughing because I never heard of all this before. Anyway, let's just put some windows down and find, it's my Wikipedia page. Now, the worrying thing is, the first thing that I found actually about this, now in schools, are they educating children about, it seems like every fetish you can possibly. I'm just wondering when they're going to do sadomasochism classes in school, how to tie someone up properly, how to make sure you've got a safe word. Because this actually, the first thing that came up when I put in what is a furry, was this actually. Let's look at this first. This is made for schools in Canada. Let's talk about furries. Do we have to talk about furries? I mean, do children really need to know about furries when they're children? I mean, I've got to my advanced age in life, never heard of them. It hasn't done me any harm. I don't think my life's been blighted because I didn't know what a furry was. What is going on in schools? Share this with your friends, family and colleagues. Well, I'm sharing it with my friends. So this is made for safer schools. So bear in mind, this is aimed at schools. The internet is a constantly changing global forum that is filled with many types of communities. These communities often allow people to express themselves in a way that frees them from what they consider to be societal norms. In recent years, with the explosive popularity of YouTubers and TikTokers, listen, I'll tell you what, if you're really interested, I bet there'll be YouTubers that talk about it, there'll be TikTok accounts that talk about it, and some members of these communities have taken to popular platforms to widely showcase their subcultures. One of these subcultures is the furry fandom. Now, is the reason that they feel that they have to tell our children all these things is because, of course, if your child's got Google, they can, get anything on there. It's really quite scary, actually, isn't it? How easily, children can access porn, and not only and access violent things as well, and the PlayStation, Xbox games that are violent, etc. And it is a bit worrying. It's all so easy. I mean, there had always been serial killers. Even before we had the internet, there were serial killers. There was already P's, child abusers. The internet hasn't invented these types of people. And it causes a lot of good things, because if a child is worried, about their sexuality or whatever, they can go online. They might not feel they can talk to the parents. They can go online. They can talk to people. They can talk things out. There's good things about it as well. But there's bad things. There's all these bloody self-deletion sites as well. And there's some, I just don't know. I think they're not being monitored properly, are they? I mean, how are you allowed to go? This is what I was saying last night. How, if I say bloody escort service on Twitter, I get my account flung off, but you can go on the internet and I find these bestiality sites with people, cartoons. You can just find them apparently just like that. Victoria was on LinkedIn and Tumblr. They're just normal sites like Facebook. They're not dark websites. Anyway, to be clear, this article is intended to provide safeguarding professionals, staff, and parents with an awareness about furries, reported concerns and claimed misunderstandings surrounding the furry fandom. Our online safety experts have provided further information on the risks and advice on what you can do to help make the children in your care safer. It is not promoting the activity, rather it is highlighting the risks and making suggestions about how to engage with those who may have an interest in it. And this is the $600 million question, isn't it? Will children be turned into furries by reading about them, or have they already got those, thoughts, and then finding a website means that they can explore their thoughts and ideations? Is that a good thing? It's the same with killing. I personally, I believe as far as murder is concerned, especially serial killers and that, I'm not talking about opportunistic murderers or, people who murder in passion or rage. I'm talking about serial killers, cold-blooded killers. I think they're born, not made. I think that's why there were so many of them, even before there was any internet. Because people sometimes are just born wired wrong. Now, the internet can make it easier maybe for them to find victims or to reach out to other people that think like them. But I don't think it makes them, personally. So our online safety experts have provided further information on the risks and advice on what you can do to help make the children in your care safer. Okay, so what are furries? So it's just making me laugh. Here's two furries there. I mean, that could be anyone, couldn't it? That could be me in that one. No, I'd have a nice, I like the eyes on that one, but these are two furries. It's just, sorry, it's my sense of humour. Sorry. No offence to any furries out there. Hi, Tina. Yeah, we've been talking about that earlier. You'll have to rewind. We talked about that earlier. We've got a troll. Who's the troll? Who's the troll? Yeah, I can't see a troll. But if I do, I mean, yeah, tell me who it is and what they've said that's troll-like, and I will get rid of him. Okay, so going back to the furries. So according to research from a range of sources, furries are people who have an active interest in animal characters with human characteristics. These characters are often created by the community members themselves, who take them on as a fursona, an alternate persona, who interacts with other fursonas in the community via role-playing and art. The fursona commonly embodies characteristics, personality traits, physical attributes, and projected ages desired by the individual creator. Now, something the internet as well has given, people take on avatars, don't they, when they go on like gaming things, and some people play on these things, even when they're adults, like, and they create their own personality, don't they? And they can look how they want to look, and it's an escapism, and I'm all for everyone needs escapism, don't they? Everybody needs that. I'm all for that, but just looking at these is just making me laugh. But anyway, so I think it'd be quite entertaining at the what is it, the furry con or whatever it is, the convention for the furries. But I suppose it's an opportunity for people to sort of hide behind a different persona, you know, and some people like to do that. Could be, you know, like Giant Prick hiding behind the Spider-Man persona, you know, just anyway. But I think when it spills into your real life, I think that's a problem, isn't it? Like him, he's, you know, he's walking around his neighborhood in his Spider-Man costume. Mate, you know, he's supposed to be a man of God. I mean, come on. You know, not that there's anything wrong with Spider-Man, but, you know, he's taking it too far. It's different from just dressing up at a convention. Anyway, we won't talk about him. I'm trying to keep him out of my head at the moment. So the fursona commonly embodies characteristics, personality traits, physical attributes, and projected ages desired by the individual creator. So you can be whatever age you want, you can be whatever size you want, you can look whatever, you know, you can say, well, you can, you know, you can just be anything because nobody can see what you. This will never take off in Spain. I'll just say one thing. This will never take off in Spain because it's just too hot. You know, it's like you couldn't wear one of them in Spain. It'd be a nightmare. So some members make vibrant costumes of their characters called fursuits and usually wear them in a public forum, either in person or online. There are worldwide conventions and meets that act as real-life gathering spaces for members. So recent claims and hoaxes. So this is interesting. There have been recent rumours, claims and hoaxes about students within multiple UK schools, so this is the UK, identifying as cats and engaging in disruptive behaviours, such as crawling on all fours and demanding litter boxes be placed in the toilets. Oh my God. Could you imagine? So if your child comes home and says, oh, look, I'm not going back to school because they won't put a litter box in the toilet. Oh, come on. These stories have been picked up and reported on by various news broadcasters. Many use the term furries when referring to the students in question, although it's unclear whether this terminology has been used by any of these students to describe themselves. I'm just thinking about what my mum and dad would have said if I would have gone home and said, I've decided I identify as a cat and I want a litter tray in my bedroom. Or, you know, just it's quite comical, isn't it? But of course it's not comical because it's serious. The topic of furries is very niche and claimed to be misrepresented by popular media. It can be easy to identify the two together. However, it's important to note that many of these stories have been debunked as hoaxes. Who knows? It's also worth mentioning that the furry community itself is a complex one, made up of many different identities and definitions of what it means to be a furry. There are also multiple TikTok trends, social media posts that fuel and play into these rumours, popping up across the world. It has been a popular topic on forums such as Mumsnet, as well as traditional news media. I'm going to have a look at that. While some posts claim to be true, it is difficult to ascertain their validity, especially as many of the locations mentioned play into the hoax stories. Due to this complexity, our online safety experts were unable to substantiate any reports made about this behaviour in schools or claims that mention students considering themselves to be furry. It's like an April Fool's joke, isn't it? You're sort of reading it and it's like, what? Are cosplaying and furries the same community? The furry, God, I hope I never have to say furry again. The furry and cosplaying communities are different, though they share some similarities with conventions and specialized costumes. Fursuits are optional for furries and are based on characters created by the individual. Cosplaying, however, revolves around dressing up in a costume as a fictional character or a famous person. Suppose if you dressed up as Bugs Bunny or, Tom and Jerry or something. Furries are also based around using their persona as an alter ego, whereas cosplayers typically only act like or play as the character or person they are dressed as. There you go. Right, let's have a look at this. The fact remains that beneath the suit or persona is a real person, and we know that some people, by virtue of their sexual motivation, will invariably represent a risk. So you'll always get, so you've probably got loads of people out there just innocently quite enjoying dressing up as dogs or cats or Basil Brush or I don't know, Scooby-Doo or whatever. And then you'll always get some twonks who spoil it for everyone by using it as a, using their anonymity as a way of, abusing people or whatever. So the furry community claim to be founded on building confidence and respecting the creative choices and expressions of its members. However, as this group is spread across multiple online forums and platforms, with little to no moderation, it carries risks for vulnerable children and young people that include, I think it does, anything where people are dressing up is a risk. It's like Halloween. I know we had fun last Halloween, but I don't like Halloween. I don't like going out to restaurants and being served with someone with blood dripping from the fangs or, with dressed up as Frankenstein. I don't like it, so there'll always be some people, unfortunately, there'll always be some people, oh, here's my furry baby. Now she's a real one. It's not somebody dressed up. That is Princess Tia. You're a real furry, aren't you? You're a real furry. Yes, you are. Bless. Oh, dear me, oh, dear me. Certainly do learn something new every day. And Deanna, that's awful. You got, oh, what? Really? Is that true, Deanna? My God. A 14-year-old at my grandson's school is a fox, allowed to wear a tail and headgear, scampers on all fours around the playground during breaks. A 14-year-old. I mean, where they're going to go in life. I am speechless about this, really. But anyway. So the idea of the first, these are the warnings. The idea of the fursona can blur the line between real life and created reality. While for some, this may present an opportunity to engage without fear of judgment about who they are and how they're perceived. It could also encourage a vulnerable young person to engage in risk-taking activity they would not normally consider and become so all-consumed in an alternative reality that they disengage from their everyday life. And so what, I'm just thinking when somebody gets finally, leaves school, gets a job, are they going to be expecting to be allowed to romp around like a fox in their breaks at work as well? Look, the world has definitely gone mad, and some of it's there has been progress, there's been good things, but sometimes you just think, oh, come on. Anyway, part of taking on a fursona is adopting a subjective age. This means someone can project themselves to be younger or older age than they are in real life. This magnifies the very real danger of interacting with strangers over the internet, as people may not be entirely honest about their true age or identity. Even if interactions begin on a moderated online forum, the conversations can be encouraged to move to more personal platforms with encryption features like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or in-person events, furry conventions. This makes it more difficult to ensure children and young people are not being exploited or pressured by other members of the community, especially if they have a vulnerability. So the ability to mask and hide your personal identity as a furry may be misused by someone with a harmful sexual interest in children. We know that mutual interest can create a sense of rapport, which sometimes feels like friendship. With other environments occupied by people with similar interests, this rapport can be used to exploit and potentially harm a child. Please note, this behaviour is not limited to the furry community. Any online or offline community where people can mask their true identity can facilitate opportunities for people to engage with, groom and abuse children. If a child or a young person shows interest in or decides to become a furry, they also may be subjected to bullying from their peers or others, online and offline. Okay, so the thing is, yeah, young people like to dress up. We all like to dress up, don't we? I like dressing up. But it's when it becomes an unhealthy obsession, fixation, escape, or when it may expose you to risk. If a young person feels unsatisfied or upset with their situation in life, it might be easier for them to disappear into an alternate reality or world they are able to control. I suppose it's just akin to drink or drugs, isn't it? Really, it's just another way. And as long as it doesn't and the same with playing video games and things, as long as it doesn't become an obsession, it's okay, but it can become an obsession. And so this is especially true if they do not feel they have a supportive community around them. Fixation at this level may cause disassociation, anxiety, depression, and irritability. The person beneath the suit is a real person, and some people will represent a risk. Oh, there you go. There's the furries. Yeah. It must be cold because you couldn't dress like that in Spain. That's what I mean. I don't think this will ever take off in Spain. Okay, look. So I've got to go now. So I hope I've educated you a little bit about furries. I'm sure they'll come up again as we go along. So don't forget tonight the quiz, the music crime quiz or the crime music quiz, whichever way you want to look at it. The other thing is don't forget to like this video. And once again, thank you for all of you that have helped support my channel, especially my members, but also those of you who have sent me a Ko-fi or a super sticker or sent me an email or any way you've supported my channel. Thank you. So have a think about that. Are you a closet furry? Are you a closet furry? Okay. Remember to live and love wisely and carefully. Be careful with the furries. And as always, I'll see you really soon. In the next video. Well, I'll see you tonight. Hopefully be there or be square, as they say. So until I see you again, may your God go with you. Bye.